Hello all, welcome to a battle report for 40k. We have today Phil and the Blood Angels against Steve and the Denizens of Chaos. So we're playing a retrieval mission, I believe, which is basically 4 objectives scattered around the battlefield at various locations. Whoever has the most models within 3 inches of an objective at the end of the game claims that objective and the points therein. So we shall start with Steve, who can take us through his army to begin with.
Right, so it's a Chaos battalion and a patrol of Khorne demons. So here, 5 flesh hounds of Khorne. The Chaos are the world eaters. In this rhino, you've got 8 berserkers, Chaos Lord, and an exalted champion. Behind here, you've got Chosen with various weapons. What you see is what you get over from the army. Hell Brute, twin las cannon. Cultists, auto guns. Karanak, the Hound of Vengeance. Cultists with brutal assault weapons. And then in the warp, there is 5 warp talons and 20 bloodletters. Ready to deep strike.
Very good. And Phil, let's talk through your list briefly.
Intercessor squad.
With bolt rifles.
Bolt rifles, yeah. We have a missile launcher team there. Devastator squad with a little cherub, just to give him an extra shot. Primaris captain there with a power sword and a mastercrafted bolt rifle with a team of Hellblasters. Whirlwind with the Vengeance launcher, Storm bolter and a hunter killer missile. A scout squad there, just in those ruins, with sniper rifles.
And then over this side at the
scout squad again there with bolters.
Yeah, and those guys are sat on one of the objectives, aren't
they?
Should we talk about where the objectives are briefly? So, if I just so you're aware of what's going on in the general context of play, there's one here where that scout squad is there. There. Where's the other ones, guys? So there's one over here at the front of this building. There is also one on the further side there near the second scout squad. This one here. And the 4th one, I believe, is in the woods here, this pile of minerals, I assume.
And also, this isn't just my squad. In the teleport chamber, there's a Terminator squad. As you can see, Lamartes is a character in who's flying above in the skies with a backpack. And I have 10 Death Company models all flying as well with their backpacks.
So that's it basically, guys. We've got a whole host of deep striking stuff, and we have 4 objectives. 1 here, 1 over in that building, 1 over there near the scouts, and 1 there in that forest. So I believe Phil has been offered the first turn by Steve in a twist. So we'll see how things go on. Cheers. Okay, folks, so Phil's had his first turn. What went on was, you may recall there was a rhino here with all these chaps in it. Phil fired his Hellblasters at them. Hellblasters? Devastators, I should say. And scored a reasonably lucky amount of hits and wounds, and then it blew up.
The guys died as well.
And then on the roll to see if they died, 2 of the chaps, Khorne Berserkers died, and I think you rolled a 1 for your champion as well, didn't you? And he had to command point that to get it over the line. The rest of the time, the Hellblasters over there shot the Hell Brute, did 4 wounds, I think. The Whirlwind over there managed to score a hit and do a couple of wounds as well.
I should have rolled that.
The sniper rifles in that squad had a pop at it, trying to do some mortal wounds on a 6, but didn't manage it. These intercessors over here shot some of these Khorne hounds, but didn't do anything. unlike these scouts who shot them and did manage to kill one. So that was it. I think it was a pretty good turn for Phil. He managed to score some heavy casualties in terms of the rhino, and he's obviously done quite a bit of pain onto the old Hellbrute over there. So on to Steve's turn 1. Okay, folks, Steve has just finished his first turn. I'll allow him to talk you through what went on.
Alright, so where the rhino was over here, the guys who were all here and the ones behind the building just legged it forward as fast as possible. Did nothing else. The flesh hounds over here charged in and ate these scouts.
And have sat on the objective now, aren't they?
Yeah. Over here, the Hellbrute shot and killed two Devastators, actually, with his twin las cannon. These guys moved forward, fired, did nothing. Over here, I had Karanak had moved forward and the cultists had moved forward. They both rolled a big charge roll, got into this building, wiped out the scouts that were in that building just for the loss of 1 wound on Karanak. So I've got these 2 objectives in possession at the minute and killed the 2 scouts. So yeah, a bit more even now. Feel
So
a bit happier.
at the moment, the way I count it, you're holding 3 objectives in total. You've got one over there with Karnak, you've got one here with the Hellbrute,
Means
who's
little, yeah.
wounded. Yeah, but just early doors. And then these hounds have got that one. So I believe that's on to Phil's turn 2.
Yep.
Okay, folks, so Phil's just done his turn 2. It was quite bloody. So we had some Death Company that deep striked here and fired off a few pistol shots, managed to kill one of these hounds, then used a stratagem to roll 3d6 and get a charge on the Khorne berserkers that were here. And they subsequently wiped them out in the fight phase. Lamartes got in as well. Over here we had some Terminators deep strike. There were more chosen here. I think there was about 4 or 5 more, and they've been shot and riddled with bullets, and there's one guy left and he passed his morale test. The Devastators on the building managed to destroy the Hellbrute that was on 2 wounds left over there. The Hellblasters there managed to shoot some of the cultists in here, as did the captain, and they've taken about 5 wounds, I think, and passed the morale check. And the Whirlwind, nothing. So I believe that that's pretty much Phil's second turn. A big rift in the warp is about to open, I suspect, and demons are about to burst forth into reality to claim the souls of the mortals.
That's a fair assumption, mate.
So let's see what happens. Turn 2 for Steve. Okay, folks, Steve has done his turn 2, and it was an absolute bloodbath. So it's just basically so much happened. So there was a Death Company unit here that had killed some Khorne berserkers, and then, I mean, I'll include a photograph so you can see it, because it's actually just not even been visible because of how it's transpired. But there was actually 20 Bloodletters that deep striked here, charged in there. And then some of the charges happened over here. So there was a unit of cultists that were in that building, came across here and charged. And Karnak did as well, killed a couple of Hellblasters. There was some shooting there. They did nothing, basically. There was a charge here from the hounds that were in this building, charged out across here and then got a charge in there. The Warp Talons deep striked here and then failed their charge roll of a 9. Needed a 9 anyway. But basically what went on here was that Steve made an unfortunate error by doing the fight over here first with the cultists against these Hellblasters, which allowed Phil to deploy a stratagem that meant he could choose a unit to fight next in the fight phase. So he chose his Death Company, and they killed around about 13 or 12 or 12 Bloodletters. It actually was quite fortunate because the Bloodletters rolled quite well on their ward saves, so invulnerable saves, I should say. And then they got to fight back and killed a whole load of Death Company, and there was 4 Death Company left, and there was 7. There was 7 Bloodletters left. The Bloodletters played the stratagem that lets them fight again at the end of the fight phase, killed what was left of the Death Company, and then they took a morale test, and because they'd lost so many, it was just a straight up massacre of fleeing troops, except for the fact that one of them remained. Over here, Lamartes was there, and now he's not there because these 2 guys went to town on him and showed him the true nature of the Force. And I think that was about it. So Phil deployed a stratagem over here to kill a couple of cultists that were lingering around so he could get a full turn of Hellblaster shooting at Karnak and then charge in for the combat. So I think that sums up how Steve felt after he forgot to fight with the Khorne Berserkers, not the Khorne Berserkers, the Bloodletters first. So on to turn 3 for Phil.
Sure.
Right, that was Phil's turn 3. So there was a group of Warp Talons here that got shot with some fortunate shooting from the Hellblasters and the Whirlwind, and they lost 4 guys, but he's passed his morale check, so he's okay. The Intercessors managed to finish off the last Khorne Hound that was there. Terminators shot various things. The Assault Cannon tried to kill him, but failed. 2 of the Terminators tried to finish this guy off here, but failed. It's pretty unfortunate shooting, but then the other 2 Terminators targeted a group of cultists that were over here and managed to shoot 5 of them to death. And then they lost a further 3 from morale. Over here, Karnak has been finally called by the captain and the Primaris Hellblasters. They shot him first and then finished him off with his sword. I think that's pretty much everything that happened in Phil's turn 3.
These guys shot as well. Most to do some damage over to.
It was them that killed.
Yeah, we've covered that the Devastators shot the Warp Talons there. Yeah. So I think that's turn 3 for Stephen now. Okay, so Phil's just on his turn 4. There was some stuff that was over here, a Warp Talon, a Chosen, and a Khorne Demon Bloodletter that was left. The Terminators, the Devastators, and the Plasma Incinerator dudes over there, Hellblasters, they've seen to those remaining guys there. I think that's about it. Stephen played the stratagem to bring his cultists back there. The captain, you can just see him there, he's moved up towards that objective there. So he's on his way to sort of pose a threat to that, and then over here is a lord who's just loitering near this objective. So that's pretty much it, and it's turn 4 for Steve. Turn 4 for Steve. Man came this side of the building because of Yay. This chap just ran along here. Cultists were here and they've just formed a queue to run along there, and then they assume they're going to sort of make a mad dash for that objective at some point before the end of the game. So over to turn Phil for his turn 5. Okay, just briefly for Phil's turn 5. Terminators moved up to the wall here. Hellblasters moved up a couple of inches to get in range of the cultists that were in a line there, but are no longer in a line there because they've been eviscerated by the by the Terminators, who laid waste to them and caused them great consternation. So, just to let you know as well, these 3 Devastators targeted the dude that was mulling over this way, and he got hit by 2 crack missiles and then turned into soup. I think that's about it. So, could potentially be Steve's final turn. Right, so just the final turn. Steve didn't really do anything for his turn 5 because he only had this guy left, so he's still by this objective. Phil's rolled a 3 for his advance and managed to get the whirlwind near that objective. He's moved his Devastators down to that one, and then everything else has just pretty much stayed where it is. The captain over there by that objective still claiming that one. So
you've claimed 3 objectives in First Blood.
You've got 3 objectives in First Blood, so that's 10 altogether, and I think Steve got the one over there, so 10 free.
Got to kill the Warlord as well.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, sorry, no, he wasn't. He was a hero. A Lord. He was a hero. Sorry, just a hero. Warlord was a.
So well done, Phil. Good game. Some good. Take care, all.
I think the.
Right, so just to recap our initial thoughts there. Steve had a very combat-heavy army, and Phil got a few lucky rolls at the start where he blew up Steve's Rhino, which was his payload delivery system to get the hard-hitting Khorne Berserkers into combat. After that, it was stuck out in no man's land with all of the units, and they got picked off. I think the big thing that swung the momentum was just Steve getting caught up in what was going on in his turn 2, I think, and forgetting to attack first with his demons of Khorne, the Bloodletters, and that allowed Phil to take their threat out by playing the stratagem. Just maybe the balance wasn't quite right in Steve's list either, maybe a bit short on shooting, not quite enough range threat, which was on the back foot a bit strategically because of that. But by and large, maybe a few dice rolls could have gone differently. It might have been a different result, maybe closer. But hey ho, them's the breaks. Ta-ta.